Broadcasting from the McLaurin Carpet Studios on Central Avenue in downtown Laurel, Mississippi. This is Good Morning Pine Belt with Ben Winpigler on Super Talk Laurel 99.3.
All right, good morning, Pine Belt. Thank you for tuning in this morning, wherever you may be listening. We're coming to you live, as we always do, from the McLaurin Carpet Studios on a Wednesday morning here in historic downtown Laurel, Mississippi. We got a great show ahead of you today. But before we get into our first guest, I want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by our friends over at Bank First. For all of your banking needs, you can go check out Bank First today, and they will get you taken care of, from their perk rewards to ag loans to really anything that you might need in a bank. You can get it taken care of at Bank First today. All right, joining us now, as he does every month, from just down the block here on at FBC Laurel, is our good buddy Andrew Irwin. How you doing this morning, sir?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, Andrew, I know that we are getting close to a very busy time of year for a lot of churches with VBS, and you guys at FBC Laurel are no exception. I know we talked a little bit about it last time, but man, y'all have a really big weekend coming up.
Oh yeah, VBS is coming up June 8th through 11th, and we're excited. And if you haven't signed up yet, you can still sign up. And we're not going to turn any kids away, even if you show up that Monday morning to drop your kids off. We want them there, and it's going to be a great week of Vacation Bible School. We know Vacation Bible School is really probably every church's best outreach to the community each year. And this year our theme is illumination. So it's kind of have a John 8:12 about Jesus being the light of the world. And so I can definitely picture, and I'm sure all the teachers are decorating right now, and it's going to be a lot of glow in the dark stuff, and those LED lights and neon lights, stuff like that. So I think it's going to be cool for the kids. It's a good experience. Obviously, I know kids are going to love the snack time, the recreation, the lessons, all of that stuff. But ultimately, we're trying to do all of that to point to Jesus. And so we would love for your kid to be a part of it. And ours is going to be in the morning, and I believe it starts at 8:30 and it'll end at 12. And obviously, you can get there early, drop off your kids. And then, obviously, you can just go relax, have fun, let us take care of your kids and teach them about Jesus for a few hours next Monday through Thursday. June 8th to 11th. We would love to have them there.
Yeah, and that's one thing that y'all do. A lot of churches used to do the morning, but everybody's kind of shifted towards the evening time now. But y'all kept it in the morning.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have enough volunteers to keep it in the morning. I know it's tough, and I know that's why a lot of churches have gone to the night, which is understandable. And I believe, obviously, both can be really, really good. And so, if you're out there and you're listening and you want your kids to kind of have somewhere to go during the summer for all day, you can bring them to our church in the morning and then have a little break in the afternoon and then take them somewhere at night. But yeah, the VBS is going to be awesome. And if you have any questions, please come visit our website, call our church. Come to our church and ask. We would love to help you get involved in our church and in the VBS.
Yeah, and like you said, it's all in fun, and they do lots of fun. But again, the main goal is to share the gospel with these kids. That a lot of times these kids, especially with y'all being right here, kind of in the heart of town, a lot of these kids can walk over. A lot of these kids can ride over on their bikes or have their parents drop them off, maybe on the way to work in the morning. And a lot of times these kids maybe never get to hear the gospel other than that time when they're there.
Exactly. So we want to be a great resource for you. We want to be able to maybe you want your kid to learn more about Jesus, but you don't really know what to say, or let us help you in that area. We want to be a part of that, and we want to reach out to this whole community of downtown Laurel and Laurel in general. And so no matter where you are, if you're listening right now, wherever you are in Jones County, we would love for your child to be a part of our Vacation Bible School. again, that's next week, June 8th to 11th, from 8:30 to 12. And if you want to sign up, I believe there's a form on our website that you can go to and you can fill it out, and we can get the information and we can help you through that.
What are the age ranges?
Yes, so it's like K3 through 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, K3 through 5th grade. So
Okay. Going into 6th grade.
yeah, going into 6th, and we have plenty of room. Yeah, again, I've seen some of the material. I think it's going to be really, really good, and it's going to be simple but not watered down.
Right.
And going to point kids to Jesus for sure.
Absolutely. What's your role, your duty at VBS?
I'm the recreation guy.
Of course,
so
the
I'm
youth
actually
is always the recreation team.
exactly, and I'm actually I'm still buying some supplies for next week to make sure we have all the stuff we need for all the games.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. I think I always enjoy it because. I kind of feel bad for the teachers because I get their kids all riled up for a little bit, for about 20, 25 minutes, and then, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's still a good time for to teach kids some things about through recreation, and so I think it's going to be good. And for me, especially, it's a good time for me to spend time with some of our youth boys. They help me out with recreation. They help corral the kids, spend time with them, and take them to lunch afterwards. It's a good. VBS is just a great time for your whole church to kind of do something together and grow together. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a wonderful time. So I would encourage you to sign up if you haven't. And if you are listening and you're part of First Baptist Laurel and you want to volunteer, hey, we would still love to have you volunteer.
Yeah, there's always room for more volunteers.
Room for more. So, hey, we need people to help put kids in cars. You know?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, some of my you mentioned that about the church doing things together. Some of my fondest memories of growing up in the youth group is putting together those because they always stick the youth in the recreation because we had the most energy and
especially these boys.
Oh yeah. But it was a lot of fun, and you got to really kind of grow up doing that. You felt like more of an adult when you were doing that as a youth. So it does mean a lot. But Andrew, I know obviously that's what's big that's going on there at FBC Laurel. A lot goes into VBS. A lot of people, too, don't realize how much goes behind the scenes.
Oh, man. There's a lot of moving parts. Obviously a lot of women putting together the snacks in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a lot of our men doing security, doing the kind of parking lot duty. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of our youth helping with recreation and with other things like art and crafts, all that stuff. It takes a lot of people to make this work. Yeah. And I know one day, I believe we're having an ice cream truck come by for snack time.
Let's go.
And, hey, man, in a hot summer, there's nothing like one of those cool, refreshing, fruity ice cream treats.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And, man, as my wife does a lot of the decorations for our VBS, man, there's a lot that goes into that as well.
Oh, gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. That part, that's not something that I want to be a part of.
No, I'm there to help move stuff.
I'll give you the scissors. That's all I can
or
do.
I'll move the box for you. That's about the extent of my help.
And like our gym, we're definitely going to decorate some for VBS, and so I'm looking forward to whoever wants to do that for me.
I'll move the heavy stuff, but that's you don't want me doing the recreations anyway.
It won't look good.
It won't look good.
I know my limitations.
Same way. Well, what else is going on there at FBC Laurel over the summer?
Well, so we're starting small groups, and actually they started this past Sunday night, May 31st, and we're going through this study called Experiencing God, which is a study that's been around a long time.
Yeah.
Close to 30, 35 years.
Yeah, I remember doing that in the youth, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but the truth of God's Word obviously can be fresh to us. And so I know for me, just kind of leading up to the study, kind of getting prepared for it, it's just truths that, and that's the thing, if you're listening out there, a lot of the Christian life is not learning new things, but just being reminded of what the old things are.
Right.
And so just being reminded of what God is doing and that God is always at work around us.
Yeah.
And really, there's 7 really realities in this study. It's about God always being at work. He invites us to be in a relationship with Him. He invites us to join Him in that work. He speaks to us, His truth, and then we kind of adjust our lives to that. And then we obey Him and experience Him through that. And so one of the things that I've learned is that, man, God is with me every step of the way, no matter where I go. There's certain times that I have certain places that I go to and pray. But I don't leave God there.
Right.
Wherever I go throughout the day, wherever I'm driving or eating or hang out with anybody, God's with me there.
Right.
And so I think that's key for us to think about and remember in our daily lives as Christians.
Amen. Amen. And I know y'all would love to have people in those small groups as well, even if they're not a member of your church.
Hey, there's always room for you. Even if you miss a week, hey, you can still be a part of that small group. We have a lot of great host homes, good facilitators. It's going to be a great study. It's 12 weeks long.
Yeah.
And our thing is, hey, let these next 12 weeks change the next 12 years of your life.
Amen. Hey, remind people real quick, I know there's still time, how they can sign up for VBS.
Yeah, FirstBaptistLaurel.org. There's a form, and go fill it out, and we'll see you at VBS.
There you go. All right, we'll be back. Stick around right here on Good Morning Pine Belt.
Say the truth will set you free. What do you want from me? 'Cause I'm uneasy and not scared, hanging on by a thread. Life, it hasn't left me yet, but I won't forget. Oh, the devil's been talking. Devil's been talking.
All right, good morning, Pine Belt. We are back. Our thanks to our good pal Andrew Irwin there with FBC Laurel. Getting ready for an exciting weekend of, exciting week of VBS over there at FBC Laurel, where you can you can be assured that your kids will hear the gospel if you send them over there. Great people. That's their mission, is to proclaim the gospel. And we're going to talk a little bit about proclaiming the gospel a little bit later. But before we bring in our next guest, I do want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by our friends over at Dixie Electric Power Association, a member-owned electric co-op that offers broadband internet. And I can assure you it's the best broadband internet you're going to find. So go check out DE Fastlink today. All right, joining us now, as he does every month, is our good buddy Hunter Jeffcoat from Cooley and Labels Financial there in Collins. And how you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning, Ben. I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you this morning. Also, as summer is upon us, I'm excited that VBSs are kicking off.
Yeah.
Mainly for my wife's sake, but
I give her a little break.
Thankful for FBC Laurel to have one during the day. And then we'll probably try most of them that are out there. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good little. I mean, I hate to call it a babysitting service, but they get the gospel while they're getting babysat.
Amen. And we're prepping and getting ready for ours. Ours kicks off Sunday the 7th as well, so we're ready to roll.
I know
we got busy
one.
Time.
Yeah, we got one the next week. So lots of VBSs out there.
Lots of VBSs, but thankful, and it's not raining for a moment. So
at the moment,
hey, excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. Well, Hunter, I know we always talk about some things that y'all do over there at Cooley and Labus, and you always have some fantastic tips, but one thing that I wanted to ask you is obviously when y'all talk to people of all different kinds of ages, and we've kind of talked about that some. But when you talk to these people, is it all kind of the same? Do you throw like me in the same category with somebody who's getting ready to retire, or maybe somebody who's already retired, or how do you break that up?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I guess there's certainly likely a line of thinking that, hey, there's one strategy, one cookie cutter approach that everybody gets thrown into.
Right.
And that's certainly false. For us, we're super grateful to be able to get to work with people across all ages and stages of life.
Yeah.
And what we certainly desire to do is learn your situation and kind of where you are headed and what you're trying to accomplish, your desires and all those things, and creating a plan that accomplishes those things. So that's going to mean a whole lot of different things, and there's a lot of ways we could go with that conversation. But, essentially, the way I might describe it is this day and age, most people are going to have their phone and use the GPS feature on their phone.
Right.
So I feel like I plug it in when I'm going to the other side of Laurel half the time, just in case there's a better route.
Well,
right?
Shelby makes fun of me for that sometimes. She's like, "You don't know where you're going. You live here." I'm like, "Well, sometimes you just need it."
That's right. That's right. I remember us coming back from Jackson home one time, and it was telling us to, for some reason, we plugged it in maybe to tell the babysitter what time we'd be there or something.
Yeah.
And it was telling us to go a route that we're like, why in the world would it be not taking us the most efficient route?
Yeah, it's like, I know more than you, GPS.
Actually, those words came out of my mouth. I said, I know more than this thing. We're going this route. There's no way there's a traffic jam. Lo and behold, there was an awful accident, and we were stuck.
Yeah.
And it was right.
Sometimes the GPS does know more than
So
us.
where I thought there's no way, it ended up being right, and we were quite delayed. Anyway, but when you think about that, ultimately the GPS, it locates where you are currently, right? And figures out where you are, and you plug in where you're going.
Right.
Okay. So it knows the destination in which you're going, and then it throws out 3 or 4 options to get there.
Yeah.
And there may be the most fuel efficient. There may be
fewest turns.
Fewest red lights, least all the things, right? And ultimately, that's, oversimplifying, but that's kind of how the way we want to do it. Hey, we want to figure out where you're trying to get to, and there's going to be several routes to get there.
Right.
Are you trying to find the quickest? I want to retire the soonest and be comfortable, or hey, I enjoy work, and all the things. And we want to lay out those and educate people along the way, and really kind of figure out how do we accomplish what you want to accomplish most efficiently. Giving the IRS as little as possible on the way, legally, of course. But there are unique ways to be able to save and accomplish what you're trying to accomplish in that process. So, and then inside of that, hey, do you use, when you're doing building a portfolio, an investment portfolio, are you using individual stocks? Are you using mutual funds? Are you using ETFs? Or what are you using? And I would say, yes, we're using some version of all those, depending on, again, where we're trying to go, what we're trying to accomplish. That may look like CDs for some folks, So the strategy, there is no one size fits all thing for us. And so I don't know if that answers it, but kind of gets the ball rolling.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And what I like too is, like you said, we're all in different stages of life. Obviously, I'm 30, have been in the my working years for almost a decade now. So my journey starting out a few years ago would be different who somebody who maybe didn't start out as early I did, or maybe somebody who's close to retirement. We all have different stages that we're in. And I like, too, that you said you don't use a cookie-cutter approach. When we sat down, we recently sold our house, and we were talking about different ways that we can get the investments in. You were like, okay, well, what's y'all's plan? Are y'all planning on staying in this spot for a year? Are you planning and for 5 years? Because that could that's a different approaches.
No doubt. And, sitting down with Ben versus Ben's grandparent versus somebody else, the amount of risk somebody can – they may tell you they can take on certain risks, but it's easy to say that when the market continues to go up. But to really experience seeing your money go down is a different feel. And you got to really know somebody's personality and ability to absorb certain levels of risk. And that's what we try to adjust and pull certain levers inside of portfolios to be able to handle that.
Yeah, because what we've talked about is if you're doing a shorter term thing, you don't want to take quite as many risks as you're doing something over maybe 15, 20 years.
Ultimately, that's the deal. One of the questions I get asked a lot right now is the SpaceX IPOs coming out.
Okay? That's the big buzzword.
I want to get this get rich quick idea, right? And Elon and SpaceX, and you got OpenAI and Anthropic and a couple others, a lot of IPOs, which is initial public offerings when private companies go public and are on the stock exchange. And, everybody wants that, man, I got to get in on this. It's going to take over the world. And historically speaking, there obviously have been some good IPOs and a lot of great companies. But I was reading something yesterday that over the last 100 years, 4% of companies have driven the bulk of the growth in the stock market. So
4%.
4%. Well, that's you've got, if you're going to pick individual items, you've got to be really
Yeah,
doggone good.
yeah.
And there's some lucky people,
Yeah.
but to be consistently that good,
Yeah.
that's difficult to do. So,
Right.
is SpaceX going to take over the world? I don't know. Historically, IPOs are a wild ride. And,
Yeah.
specifically as they go out at these crazy valuations,
Hmm.
no companies have ever kicked off at this level, right?
Right.
So don't really know what's going to happen, but they're going to be in the top 20 biggest companies in the world immediately.
Right.
Well, they've got a pretty big shoes to fill to, justify that valuation. Anyway, so it's exciting in this AI time where there's a lot of individual stocks that are
Yeah.
really screaming and doing big returns. But
Yeah.
I guess what history has said and what has worked in the past is to have some of those names, but not
Yeah.
putting all your eggs in
In
one basket.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, hey, if you go all in on SpaceX, you may be the richest person in the world quick, right?
Yeah, right. Or you may lose it all.
But it may go to a fraction of what you actually had
Right.
really quick too, and that's just difficult to deal with. So
Yeah.
we like to build diversified portfolios to some degree and try to be in the right places and do what's best for the client. So,
Yeah, and I like to say that it's not one approach. It's not one cookie cutter thing that's going to work. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a different financial stage, and y'all want to take that approach to where, hey, we're going to do what's going to work best for you individually, not what works best for your dad or your grandpa or your best friend.
That's right. And ultimately, look, the relationship is what's important to us, and really knowing you and knowing the person to really be able to do what we believe is best.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I can attest to that. You've done that for me several times. We've sat down and talked about different things, and like we said, it's what's worked best for us. It may not work for my brother, it may not work for my dad, but it's working for me, and that's what's working. So that's a great approach to take. And Hunter, if somebody's listening and they have questions about the different approaches that y'all do take, how do they get in touch with y'all?
there's we're not hard to find. I'd like to say you can certainly Google us. Our website's www.cooley-labus.com. Our phone number is 601-319-601-440-1050. I better not put my personal phone out there, but or just call Super Talk and ask how to get in touch with us.
Yeah, we'll get you in touch with Hunter.
There you go.
Yeah, well, Hunter, we always appreciate you coming in, man. Y'all give great advice, and they are great people. And I've had the chance to meet Bubba and Greg as well, and they're both take the same approach as Hunter. They're going to do what works best for you.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next month.
Yes, sir.
All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking to our friends over at the YWCO here in downtown Laurel. So stick around. Good morning, Pine Belt. We'll be right back. Okay. All right, good morning, Pine Belt. We're back here on a Wednesday morning from the McLaurin Carpet Studios. All right, thanks to our good pal Hunter Jeffcoat over there at Cooley and Labus Financial. Great people that will always make sure that what they're doing is going to fit your needs. Before we bring in our next guest, I do want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by our friends over at Community Bank. Local bankers, local decisions, and plenty of convenient locations. You can go check out any of those convenient locations today, and the whole team over there at Community Bank will get you taken care of. All right, joining us now from just down the block here in historic downtown Laurel, we have our friends from over at the YWCO. We have Miss Linda Cranford, Miss Shannon Jeffcoat, and Miss Stephanie Higginbotham. And ladies, thank y'all so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Miss Linda, we're going to start with you. I told you were the lucky one to kind of kick us off here, mostly because you've been involved with the YWCO for quite a while, or the Y as it's commonly referred to. So, Miss Linda, first of all, again, thank you for coming in. And I know you've been a part. How long have you been a part of the Y now?
Oh my goodness. As an adult, I've been quite several years. But as a child, I remember coming to the Y to take exercises, and I also learned how to become a lifeguard.
Yeah, okay.
Because we used to have a pool.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yes, a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people do remember the pool, and that's the first thing they want to know is the pool still there? Well, unfortunately, it's there, but the dojo is on top of it now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have karate.
Oh, yeah. So you've seen lots of different things and lots of different changes at the Y, but talk for a minute about what your role has been, and then we're going to introduce these ladies here that are with us to kind of talk about what the future looks like for the Y.
Okay. Well, a year or so ago, specifically last year, we had several things happen at the Y, and it's happened over a period of time. But we had a few blows to our organization in that we lost some funding.
Yeah.
We lost our president. We lost our president. She passed away, Mary Ann Stroka. And so me and another old timer, I guess you would say, we decided to step up, and Mary was the president, and I was a vice president.
Yeah.
Well, then our executive director, Brandy Thornton, she decided to move back to Alabama to take care of family.
Right.
So there we were looking for an executive director, and I kept saying, or I kept hearing, you need to step in there. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I stepped in as executive director in October.
Okay.
And since then, we've brought along these ladies. Actually have come aboard since then, and we've got a few other new members of the Y board and everything. So we're going forward in a quick pace. So we're kind of meeting the old with the new. I represent the old, unfortunately. They represent the new.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you need that good mix, and well, now we'll bring in Miss Shannon Jeffcoat. She's now the new executive director. And Miss Shannon, I know. First of all, when did you start officially as the executive director?
I officially started Monday.
Oh, okay. Well, you're brand new then.
It's new, yes.
So
yes.
what was your involvement in the Y beforehand?
Previously, my children growing up took wiggle worms at the Y, and just stories from their grandmother telling us about her swimming and things as she grew up. And so she's actually who got me involved. And then as far as this moment of my life, Stephanie said, hey, why don't you join the Y? And I was like, sure. And telling me all the great things that they were looking into doing. And then they brought me on and said, Miss Linda is going to stay with us, but would like to presume a new role. And so then I was brought in to kind of usher in the new day that we're having at the Y.
Absolutely. Well, Miss Stephanie, I'll bring you in now. You've been the board president now for how long?
A couple weeks.
Okay, so you're very new in that as well. But how did you kind of get involved in the Y?
So my daughter Lily takes art. My son Zeke takes art there now too with Sherry Taylor. And we used to do teas there with Lily when she was little. And then our friend Christy Matthews teaches sewing there. So that's how we got involved with the Y several years ago. Became a member last year, and now here we are. Yeah,
here you are. So we're talking a lot about the new, kind of what the new ideas are. And Stephanie or Shannon, whichever one you kind of want to take, obviously one of the big things is I'm looking at the notes, you're kind of going back to the original mission of the Y.
Correct.
So talk about what that is.
So a lot of people, when we say, hey, come join us at the Y, they don't know what that is.
Right.
They don't even know that we offer classes.
Yeah.
They say, oh, you're an event space, and we're a whole lot more than an event venue. And so we're trying to go back to the Christian roots of the organization.
Right.
Christ served. We want to serve. We want to serve in the community where we're planted.
Yeah.
We want to serve women of all ages. We want to serve their families and offer seminars and classes for their growth.
Yeah, and then Miss Linda, obviously you've been a part of the Y now for quite a while. So when you see this new mission, I say new mission, it's really the old mission back to the new mission. What does that look like? Going back to the old mission for you.
For me,
Yeah.
I'm so excited to begin with, because we're on the right track in getting the future married with the old. And so some of the old things that we're used to, a lot of workshops
Yeah.
that helps with, in several different,
Yeah.
especially geared toward women.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun activities.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot of things going on at the Y every day, every month.
Yeah.
When we finally get things in line.
Yeah, and I'm looking here too that y'all are really looking to roll out some info here in the near future about how businesses and people can participate, right?
Exactly.
What-
Exactly.
So can you give us kind of a little hint of what's that going to look like, or are you gonna wait and are you going to give
Well,
us a little tease?
I'm going to just tell you, stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because there's going to be several things coming up that individuals.
yeah, because none of this is free.
No.
But so y'all need businesses and individuals to help.
It was interesting. We've been looking back at some of the old programs and everything.
Yeah.
And the number of people that were involved, businesses and everything, that were involved with the Y. I almost said the United Way because I used to work with the United Way as well. But with the Y, almost every business in Laurel at one time was part of the Y.
Yeah.
And it's like that's where we're wanting to get back.
Yeah.
We need to get back there. We need the community support.
Right.
So we've got several things coming up, and these ladies are our entire new executive board.
Yeah.
We don't have but just three of us here, but we actually have a total of 5 executive board members.
My wife's on the board, I think. She's on some kind of board. Yeah, she works with y'all.
She's on the general board.
Yeah, she does a lot with y'all, so she loves the Y as well. And Miss Shannon, I come over to you for a second. I know y'all also do, obviously y'all are looking to get businesses involved in different things, but to get the public involved, y'all are going to have a lot of events coming up.
Yes, we are. We're looking at scheduling some things, like she said, some seminars for ladies, pulling the community in, and really to stay updated on that, our Facebook page, we're staying on top of getting all that information out to the public. That way, the more that we have involvement in our community, the bigger we are.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Facebook is how you get that information out. So if you want anything information-wise coming up on the Y, just stay tuned to that.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, too, if somebody's listening and they're like, I want more info on how to become a member of the Y, what does that look like?
We are actually rolling out new documentation about membership as well.
Okay.
Because people say, well, what's the point of me being a member?
Yeah,
what does
right.
that look like? What do I get?
Yeah.
And for a long time, we said, you just get the value of being a Y member.
Yeah.
But we're making some changes with that as well. So
Okay.
that will be rolling out too on media and other outlets. So.
Absolutely. So what's the best way to get in touch with y'all to find out, how to become a member, how to become a business partner? What's that look like?
So the best way to reach us is we are in the office on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And you can contact the office at 601-428-5694. Like I said, we're on Facebook, the YWCO of Laurel, and you can message us on there. Somebody is always going to be checking the Facebook. So if you need any information or want to get in contact with us about how that looks or how to do that, you can. And you're welcome to stop by and see me.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 to 2, I'll be in the office.
And stay tuned. By the end of the summer, we should have out our information rolling out to businesses and individuals for our new initiative that we're doing to partner with everyone.
Yeah, well, that's going to be really exciting. And Miss Linda, I'm going to end with you since we kind of started with you. I know this is a very special place in your heart. I know it's very special to have the children in there. So is there anything else as we go in this segment that you want to remind people of about the Y and why it's so special?
Well, the Y, it's not just a building.
Right.
You know, everybody knows it's just this building on Oak Street. Mm-hmm. But they don't know what happens in the building. Yeah. But there, you can see it's so interesting. Some of the parents come and bring their children, you know, for the first time, and they'll say, "Oh, I remember taking art here." Yeah. You know, so it's a house of memories. Yeah. It's not just a building.
That's absolutely right. Well, ladies, thank y'all so much for coming on this morning. I know that in my family in particular, the Y is very near and dear to our family. So we really appreciate y'all and what y'all are doing, and excited to see as we move forward to really bring that mission and what the Y really means. So thank y'all again for coming in, and I know we'll be talking to y'all soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. When we come back, we're going to be filling you in some things going on here in the Pine Belt community. So stick around. Good Morning Pine Belt. We'll be right back. All right. Good Morning Pine Belt. We're back. Final segment here on a Wednesday morning, coming to you live as we always do from the McLaurin Carpets Studios. Our thanks to our good friends over at McLaurin Carpets. They will always get you taken care of, and if you want to just see a little taste of their work, go check them out at McLaurinCarpets.com. All right. Going to wrap up the show here with just a couple of news and notes updates as we go through, finish the day here on a Wednesday morning. First of all, on sad news, I know me and Jack Fairchild talked yesterday about the horrendous death of the high school soccer player there at South Jones. Who died a pretty sad death there in the Ellisville community. We talked about the at the time suspect who was unnamed because he is under the age of 17, going through his adjudication process, and we have some news from that. Unfortunately, they did. I say unfortunately because it is an unfortunate situation. Anthony Jackson, who is now, his name has been said. His name is out there. He is being tried as an adult on first-degree murder. It's a terrible bond set at $1 million. And I'll say this: I don't know the ins and outs of the details of the case, and I'm not going to talk hearsay on here, but I will say if they are going after a first-degree murder charge, and that means there's a lot more that has not officially came out yet that will come out, I'm sure, very soon, and the Laurel Leader Call team will do a good job of keeping up with that. I'm sure that our friends over at the Super Talk News team will also pick up on this as well and follow this story. It's a tragic situation. Either way you look at it, a young man lost his life in the sense that he will never come back. His parents lost a child. And as Jack said yesterday, whatever the situation was that was happening there at the gas station that day, no one is at fault but a young man who has not lost his life, but he has lost everything that he's known. And that just goes to show you that while you can have everything in the world and everything going for you athletically, that if you do not I'll be careful the way I say this, walk in a direction that pleases Christ, you can throw it all away in a second. And that's what this young man unfortunately has done. That does not mean that he is outside the bounds of knowing Christ, of getting to know Christ. Christ can redeem a murderer the same way he redeemed me and you. So pray for that situation. Pray for the family of the young man who lost his life. Pray for the family of the young man who threw away his life. He threw away his earthly life. That does not mean he has to have to throw away his eternal life, and hopefully that he finds that, has learned his lesson, and he will learn it the hard way. Unfortunately, he will learn it the hard way. So pray for both of those families, because that is just an awful, terrible situation that happened right here at home. And again, we will keep you updated as this trial goes along, as to the details of this case. On another note, if you have not kept up with it, and we are going to get him in once he is done over at First Baptist Church in the Sharon community here in Laurel, Matt Olson, who I don't know extremely well, but I've met him enough to know how much he loves the Lord, is in the tail end of a 96-hour straight revival. And I'll say this, if you have not watched it, I have not got a chance to go over there yet. I'm hoping to go over there here shortly. Man, I'll tell you what, he is proclaiming the gospel. A lot of people have said, oh, he's doing this just to break some kind of Guinness World Record. I'll be completely honest, when I first saw it, if I did not know Matt, and know people who know Matt very well, that would be my thoughts as well. But let me tell you something, that man could not care less about a record. That man cares about one thing, and it's about the proclaiming the gospel. He is doing it very well, and the Lord is working through that to bring people to Christ. I've been able to watch a good portion of it. You can watch it on their Facebook Live. FBC Sharon is streaming that right now, and they're kind of taking turns, and it will be over tonight at 6. So if you have not tuned in, go to their Facebook Live, tune in. You will hear the gospel. You will be convicted, because that's what the gospel does. And if you get a chance, go over there. Support Matt. What you're really going to see, Hunter told me off air that he saw this morning, is to see the servants of the church serving Matt during this time and serving this all towards the advancement of the gospel. Hey, that does it for Good Morning Pine Belt today. Our thanks to our guests. Great show that we had today. And hey, guess what? You won't have to hear me again till Tuesday. Well, we always do appreciate you listening. And if you missed any of this show or any other shows, you can always go back and check us out on our Super Talk Laurel YouTube page. But until next Tuesday, and as always, you keep it dial right here on Super Talk Laurel 99.3.